What's up, jGRite? Now, with my phone frustrations and all that from those videos, you're probably thinking, okay, well, jGRite, you know, it's about time you get a new phone, and well, I'm gonna make this video to help that cause. Now, let's talk about the phone I got. I have a Samsung Galaxy S4. Wow. It's 2015. Wow. So, with a phone like that, and unfortunately I bought a locked version of it, so it's only good with AT&T, and the bootloader's locked, so I'm trapped in my own phone, and I just think that doesn't make sense. I think that all manufacturers should allow their customers to unlock the bootloader if they so feel. Not because, you know, it's going to stop them from buying other phones, but it's going to show the customers, and the manufacturers will be able to show the customers that they appreciate their customers so much that they're willing to let them do whatever they want with the product. I mean, yeah, they might not buy a phone for a while if they're savvy enough to figure out, oh hey, I can unlock the bootloader and install a custom ROM from the internet, and yay, Linux, Android, this is great. But not everyone's gonna do that. That's kind of dangerous. I don't know if you saw it on the side of the road just now. But that aside, there are a few things with the phone that I personally need and you might need, and I'm gonna go over those things in great detail. Here we go. Well, first, onboard storage, I need at least 32 gigabytes between the applications I actually use and download and the ones I like to try out and download. And I like to keep my storage devices separate on my phone. I like to only have apps and pictures and videos and stuff like that on the phone, whereas I like to keep my music on the SD card. So whenever I need to, you know, add more, or if I feel like taking the SD card out, I don't have to worry about any apps that were running on it because I won't have any. And besides, SD cards are gonna still be a little slower than the onboard storage, so why would you want your SD card running all the apps unless you have to? Now, at the moment I have a, I guess a 64 gigabyte card. It's like 58, you know, and then 32, and it's like 18 because, you know, Samsung. And I put all my music on there. I'm not quite full yet, but if I tried really hard, I could be full of the music portion of the SD card. So I'm getting there. Now, a lot of people will argue until they're blue in the face about, you know, it's old technology and this is 2015 or some ridiculousness like that. And out of my needs, I like for my music to be uninterrupted, if at all possible. I'm not one of those people that likes to stream stuff off the internet and while I'm driving, and the internet in America is not good enough for that. I'm sorry, it's just not. I'm not sorry. What did I say that for? The internet in America is not good enough, both land and in the air. It's not good enough for streaming music, especially where I drive. Now, maybe if you're in the city all the time and driving, then it's probably fine, but I drive down country roads all the time. And in Florida, with the nice wide open spaces and country roads and country air and all that stuff, there's lots of dead spots. Now, not dead spots for phone calls, which I wouldn't know because I'm not on the phone all the time. I'm doing stuff like this. But dead spots in the internet, in the LTE, in the 3G, dead spots where I'll be on Waze and eventually the GPS will cut off real quick and not know where I am for, you know, about 3 seconds, and then, oh hey, I'm up the road now. So if it's doing that, I can only imagine what it's doing with internet if I was streaming something. Now, Last FM is about the only streaming I do on my phone, where I'm playing a song on my phone and then I'm scrubbing it so that, you know, if you happen to use Last FM, you can actually see what I'm listening to on my phone now, not in the car, because that's not connected to the internet. So, again, I like to make the comparison of, would you download a full HD movie and watch it, or would you stream that same movie and watch it? Same quality. And you'd probably be like, oh no, I'd stream it. And then some people would be like, oh no, I'd go ahead and download it, and then I'd have it on my device to watch wherever I go. And then I'd say, okay, to the person that, you know, you want to stream it, alright. So let's say the power goes out. Say there's a lightning storm and the power goes out. And you're watching on a laptop where you have, you know, your battery source. You can still keep watching. But if you were streaming, you're done. It's a wrap. So the choice is a lot better when you have it and there's no chance of it being interrupted aside from the device failing or something like that. So when it comes to music, and that's just video, when it comes to music, I don't want to interrupt it. When I'm walking around the store with my Bluetooth headset on and I'm listening to music as I'm shopping, I don't want to interrupt it. Well, unless I interrupt it myself. If I'm in the car and I'm playing music via Bluetooth, I don't want to interrupt it. And by removing as many things that could interrupt it, I save myself the trouble. And you know what's funny? The worst thing is when, like I said, I go to a lot of church events and I play for them. And what happens is the praise dancers will sometimes bring their phone and they'll use YouTube as their media source to play the song that they want to do a praise dance to. And I don't get to advise people against that because it's usually too late. It's like, oh, you're using YouTube for this? I wish I could have helped you. And it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes they learn that we shouldn't use YouTube for these kinds of things on the phone, because what if somebody calls the phone, or what if somebody sends a text to the phone, or what if the phone battery's low, or what if the internet's weak, or, you know, and they'll be in the middle of a praise dance getting it, and then all of a sudden it stops. The track stops for a second, or it stutters, or they're just standing there, or they get a phone call. Oh man, that's always funny. I'm just like, yeah, there are ways to get these songs for free so that you can have it for your praise dance if you don't have the 99 to $1.50 for the song. So, you know, it's tough. So there's all kinds of reasons why storage on board the phone is important. And I am baffled because recently Samsung announced their Note 5 and their Galaxy X Plus, whatever. And it was shocking when I heard that it's going to be available in 32 gigabyte and 64 gigabytes of storage only. Now, we know Samsung's moved on and they're doing non-removable batteries, which I'm okay with, because I think they learned from this phone and I guess maybe the S5 was doing the same thing. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they fixed it. And the Notes, of course. It's safer to have the phone directly connected to the battery with wires instead of, you know, the contact points. It's safer that way. So I'm okay with that. And if they don't want to have onboard storage, that's on them. They can do whatever they want. It's their company. If they want to copy Apple, that's fine. But 32 32 gigabytes and 64 gigabytes is unacceptable in 2015 for a flagship device. Flagship device. We're talking about high-end, almost $1,000 unlocked flagship device. And they're gonna release this to go in competition with Apple's up-and-coming S device, you know, what, 6S or whatever they're gonna call it. And they're gonna have a 128 gigabyte model, probably. Unless they didn't do that, I don't know. I don't keep up with Apple, I don't really care. But they should have a 128 gigabyte option and a 64 gigabyte option and not a 32 gigabyte option. And I wouldn't care one way or another because I'm not going to buy another Samsung device. But I think Samsung customers deserve the added storage. I also think that they deserve more than 32 gigabytes. It's ridiculous for them to compromise when, I don't know, I just think storage is important. Now, at the same time, I know some people that take a lot of pictures, and they could probably easily fill up a 32 gigabyte device since they fortunately have a SD card slot on their phone, both of their phones, the one before and then the one they have now. But I could not imagine if somebody was like, oh, I love Samsung, I love what they've been doing, I'm gonna keep getting Samsung devices, and then they get this 32 gigabyte device and they fill it up. What are they gonna do? 32 gigabytes is not a lot of space, especially when the operating system's gonna take up a bunch of the space. You're gonna install your apps, and then you're gonna have, you know, the few pictures that you're gonna need. You know, maybe you got wallpapers or whatever. Space gets limited, especially if you're one of those people that loves to just download apps all the time and download and download and download and download. You'll fill up a SD. Sorry, there's no SD card. You will fill up that internal storage quick. And especially if you follow, you know, Android Authority and stuff like that, and then they're talking about these new apps in their weekly emails and weekly videos where they're talking about new apps, and oh yeah, I want to try that. Well, there goes some more of that space. And then what you're gonna do when you wanna, you know, do something that's gonna take a lot of space? What if you wanna make a video like this? Where's your space gonna be? 32 is not gonna be enough. Unless you're, you know, constantly managing your device and taking stuff off as you put it on and backing up stuff to a cloud service, and, you know, I guess that's fine, you know. You could do that. But then every time you start running out of space, you have to do something about it. Instead of, you know, manufacturers making devices bigger in storage, since they're already making them bigger in size. I mean, what point is there in a 32 gigabyte 5.7 inch screen phone? It sounds kind of weird when there's, I don't know. I think that's good. But anyway, next phone for me is definitely going to either be a LG G4, since it's got 32 gigabytes and then SD storage, and I can go beyond, and it's fine, and that's great. Or I'm really interested in the Motorola Pure Style X Edition, whatever it's got a lot of names in America and then everywhere else, because everywhere else is not as special as the United States. We're special. We need special names for devices, so that when we see the same device online, we don't get confused and go, oh, I'm gonna buy that device. Oops, it's not for my carrier. Because, you know, the United States, we're special. We can't have a what was that thing? The GoBot robot thing that went through Canada and made it safely, hitchhiking, and Hikebot, whatever it's called. Yeah, it didn't make it past Philadelphia. That's sad. America. So it also has SD card expansion up to 128, and I wonder about these numbers, because are they just saying 128 because that's all that's like available commercially, or is it the same SD card slot that LG has, because it goes up to 2 terabytes, and it wouldn't make any sense for them to have a device that doesn't have the latest SD card storage device for the phone. Shoot, that's where I'm at phone wise. That's where I'm at mentally phone wise. And you could probably argue in the comments about 128 gigabytes is going to be enough onboard storage, and I will tell you quickly, no, it's not. It won't be. Not for me. To each his own, right? That's why there's a whole lot of devices out there, and you can get whatever you want, and it'll make you happy. And I say that there should always be at least one manufacturer in the United States, or making phones for the United States, that makes one that has big storage, 64 gigabytes. That's that Motorola, 64 gigabytes on board, and then you can expand to 128. That's a lot of storage. Oh yeah, a lot of storage. There's also a 16 gigabyte variant, so that's good. So I hope you guys are happy with whatever device you have, and if you're miserable with your device, tell me about your device that makes you miserable, because mine, not today, it didn't make me miserable today, but it occasionally does. So we'll be in touch. If you give me likes on this video, lots of likes will support the new device, because, you know, these things aren't free, especially unlocked. Yeah. Alright, so jGRite out. Peace. Enjoy your day, night, evening, food. You're probably eating food right now. It's delicious, isn't it? Delicious food.